But all Spanish questions, what do they all start with? Upside down and inverted question. Okay? And of course they end with a question mark. Okay? Now, the reason why we do this, okay? Well, I need to take a step back. Sure. Okay? In the last chapter, we learned words, and we kind of practiced them with this exercise. A word like cuando and como and donde, okay? All of those words are interrogatives. They're all question words, and they are meant to elicit information, okay? Cuando es la clase? When is class? Okay, and Caden gives me information. Seth, ¿cómo estás? How are you? Okay, and so he gives me information about how he's doing. Or I can ask Todd, ¿dónde está la biblioteca? Where is the library? And he gives me information. Okay? Sometimes, though, all you need is a yes or no. So, for example, I can say, Caden, do you speak English? And he's like, yeah, or no. Okay? I can ask Seth, do you play the piano? All right? And he can tell me either no, all right, or yes, if he did. Okay? All it really requires is a yes or no. Okay? The reason why we have inverted question marks to start our sentences in Espanol is because we do not have the word do or does in Spanish when it comes to asking questions. Now, if I'm asking about someone else, I might say, Ira, does Nahira, speak French? And that's like one of her friends, that's also one of my classes. And she might say, yeah, she does, or no, she doesn't. Okay? We don't have the word do or does when asking questions. Okay? It just doesn't exist. All right? So, how would you ask then a yes or no question to someone in Espanol? Okay? The inverted question mark replaces that. Because if you just look at the words, don't look at the punctuation, it literally just says, you speak English. Okay? Literally. But once you put these two question marks, it becomes, do you speak English? Okay? So you can look at it and realize, okay, oh, but Mr. Sancho's like, I can just like look at the end of the sentence. Well, yeah, but you read like this, and you're just like, you speak English? Oh, wait, shit, that was a question. All right? So by seeing this first, okay, it indicates that it is in fact a question. Okay? Do you play the piano?
So would it still be salud the exact same way, or is there like when we say, do you speak English, or if you could say, you speak English, you could just say like, he speaks English, or do you say it with like do you speak English? As like a question?
Todd, you must have seen my video on YouTube, because, yes, okay, I was about to say, this is only for written Spanish, okay? When you're speaking, Obviously, you can't say inverted question mark. Speaking, no. And so, yes, it comes from the inflection, from the tone of your voice. Okay? There is a, let me find a different color. There is a rising pitch towards the end. Okay? So I would say, Caden, hablas inglés. Okay? Seth, tocas el piano. All right. Now, I always have a hard time not tilting my head or doing weird things with my eyes or like using my hands. But Spanish is a physical language. All right. So I can say, hey, Ira, habla francés Nahira? No. Okay. Gracias. Okay. Does she speak French? Okay. That's how you do it in English. All right, so yeah, you just raise the pitch at the end, because there is a difference between Caden, hablas inglés. That's a statement. I'm telling you, you speak English. You quit pretending. Versus, hey, Caden, hablas inglés. That's a question. Do you speak English? Okay, maybe we need some music, and Seth here is being shy, and I'm like, Seth, tocas el piano. You play the piano, all right? Get up there and start playing for us, all right? Maybe he's just embarrassed to play in public. Or, hey, someone just said something to me. Tocas el piano? Okay? Do you play the piano? Like, one or two people were whispering, and he's like, no, they're joking. I can play una canción. I can only play one song, all right? Really badly, all right? So yeah, okay? So you would raise the pitch. Now, sometimes it could just be one word, okay? I could look at once again, I'm using Ira as an example. I can just say, Ira, trabajas? What did I just ask her? Trabajas? Do you work? Yeah. Do you work? Like, do you have a job? Okay. Ira, trabajas? No. Okay. And if she did, it'd just be, sí. That's it. Okay? But once again, because in Espanol we do not have the word do or does, then that's why we use the upside down question marks. Okay, number one. Number two, obviously, for speaking, we raise the pitch. And of course, if like I have you read something out loud, okay, blah, 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 y se toca el piano. Oh shit, that was a question. No, by seeing the inverted question mark now, you know that as you're reading, you're going to have to, change your pitch by the end of the sentence. Okay? This is the only time you have to do this in Espanol. I know English doesn't really do it a whole lot. I mean, you can, I suppose. But I think I've mentioned it to you before. I spent 6 months in Vietnam about 10 years ago, and Vietnamese is what we call a tonal language, where the tones that you produce change the meanings of all the words. So I had a really hard time, because I'll just give you one example. The word ba, I can't even say it. This word, ba. Ba, ba, ba. That could either be cheek, father, or the number 3, depending on which tone I use. Yeah, okay. 6 months was nowhere near long enough for me to even come close to mastering the language. I could barely order food and ask how much. All right, I mastered those tones. Buying thing? Even then, sometimes you would be like, what the hell did you just say? You think? Oh, god damn it, I used the wrong pitch. Type of thing. So, yeah, and it happens a lot. And some people are able to pick it up quickly. Some people, like, by the end that I was there, I could, like, order food, and, like, I knew my numbers, and I knew it's a flat ba for the number 3. So I knew that, like, I knew don't go ba or ba, because I will just have said chief or dad. The descending one is dad. So it's like, ba. Oh, you want 3, And even then I'd hold up to let them know I needed praise. Okay, but yeah, this is the only time you got. Yeah, I know. This is the only time you got to do it in Spanish. Okay, so yeah. All right. So looking at 1-26.